Hello everyone, this is Dennie Heye for the SLA Europe Podcast. Today I'm joined by telephone by Tracy Maleeff. Welcome Tracy.
Hi, good morning.
So Tracy, for listeners that don't know you yet, could you give us a brief introduction of yourselves? What do you do at work? What's your role in SLA?
Sure, absolutely. Yes, as Denny said, I'm Tracy Maleeff. I have quite a few roles that I do within SLA. I'm currently the chair of the Annual Conference Advisory Council for the 2015 conference in Boston. I'm also chair of the 2014 Online Content Advisory Council, which means that I work with other members to oversee the social media of the association. I'm a past chair of the legal division, and I'm also a board member of the Europe chapter as the USA regional representative.
And that's beside a day job, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then there's my day job. I am the Library Resources Manager at Duane Morris LLP, which is an American Philadelphia-based law firm, an AmLaw 100 firm. We do have international offices, and my job as Library Resources Manager is that I basically do acquisitions and collection development for all 26 offices worldwide and all 700-plus attorneys. So I'm constantly toggling between macro and micro, helping an individual attorney and then helping an office or a practice group as a whole.
That sounds like a great challenge to fit everything you just said about SLA in your day job, to just fit everything into 24 hours. So I wanted to talk to you about a few things. So the one thing that first I wanted to bring up is that you won the Dow Jones Innovate Award. So you were nominated for this because apparently you do some very innovative work. Could you tell us a bit about what you have done in your role in SLA that's innovative?
Sure. It was quite a surprise and just an amazing honor to receive the inaugural Dow Jones Innovate Award. I was told that I was selected because of my innovation and creativity with my service to SLA. I guess a couple things that I can mention is, there's that famous George Bernard Shaw quote about people, look at things the way they are and say why, or I look at them and say why not. I very much have, and I probably butchered that quote, but I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. I very much look at things within SLA as a why not. A lot of people have a hard time getting very excited and jazzed up about a professional association, but this is our livelihood. These are our jobs, our careers. Why wouldn't you want to get excited about this and make it the best that it can be? So one example, which I think is very small, but apparently was well received, was I noticed that in the months leading up to annual conferences, there would be a lot of misinformation or just too much information being put out about especially the conference city. I saw this in Chicago that in 2012 that a lot of people were putting information out there that was, was clearly a skewed opinion and putting it out there as fact. And I just felt people felt very confused about what to expect going into the conference. So I decided, and I drew upon my past professional life as a travel agent, to create a Twitter account called SLA and the Year. So the first one I did was 2013, and then TIPS, TIPS. And these accounts, I created 2014, and I have them registered all the way up through 2016. And it's drawing on my travel agent past and just my desire to get correct information out there as an info pro, to pull information about the conference, about the local city. Now, it's expanded beyond that to just encompass everything that goes on within SLA in that certain year. But the genesis of it was getting members the correct information about the conference city. So that was one thing that I've done and I enjoy doing. And I just think in general, always looking for new ways to do things. With the Online Content Advisory Council, I asked the question of, well, why aren't we on Instagram? Why aren't we on Pinterest? And we are now. So we now have the accounts. I made that happen. And I'm always just scanning the horizon to see, what else can we do? Why not us? Let's put ourselves in there. So I think all that combined is what people saw. And, I'm just so honored to have been selected for that award.
Mm-hmm. And I really like that approach, what you said at the beginning, that, rather than why not? This, especially with the online world that we live in, the risk of doing something and failing is relative. If it doesn't work, there's, not much lost, but at least you've learned something, maybe to do it the second time better. So from your experience, if other members think, well, hey, I want to be more like Tracy here, what kind of tips can you give people to be more out of the box thinking like yourselves?
Well, requires lots of caffeine.
Key requirement.
And possibly some spirits, some alcohol of choice. But no, seriously, not being afraid to put your ideas out there.
Yep.
What's the worst that's going to happen is that someone will say, no, we can't do that. It's not being afraid. There's another famous quote of what would you do if you weren't afraid?
That's a good one.
Yeah, and just put yourself out there. But also put your money where your mouth is. I'm using a lot of cliches. I apologize. But also be willing to back that up with actually the effort. It would have been easy enough for me just to whine and say, oh, we really need, a better resource for conference city information, and just left it at that. So instead, I created it on my own and then brought it to SLA. Mm-hmm. It was initially a standalone, completely separate.
Yep.
And I just made it successful on my own, and then because it took off, they just kind of incorporated it, and SLA promotes it along with their other social media. Yeah. So I guess that's just the lesson is to not be afraid, but be passionate. Mm-hmm. Be passionate about your professional association as much as you are about your job, because in my mind they go hand in hand.
Absolutely, and I've learned over the past 15 years that I've been with SLA that what you put in is what you get out. So like if you have an idea, pitch it and start. There's not much risk in just starting, and like you said, often the best person to start with a good idea is yourself, because then you can bring in that excitement, enthusiasm, and other people. Once they learn that you're excited about something, it's like contagious. They want to join. They want to help.
Exactly, and you really said it well there, Denny, about you get out of it what you put into it, and one thing that I've gotten out of SLA is just amazing interpersonal relationships. Anywhere from close friends to just to acquaintances. But one of the reasons, since we're talking about the Europe chapter here, why I wanted to join the Europe chapter was not only just for my own professional and personal development that I wanted to go more abroad with, but just meeting these, some of the Europe chapter members. I mean, they're just so intelligent and innovative and just funny. And, at the end of the day, these are people that I want in my life. Mm-hmm. And so, and no matter which chapter or division it is, to have these people in your life, I can, honestly say that, my life has been very much improved by not only being a Europe chapter member, but being an SLA member. And that's what I think people also forget too. It's not all just about the work. It's, the ability to have, a new friend, and just to, say hi on Twitter, and they write something that makes you laugh. Mm-hmm. And, you think about it later of, well, I wouldn't have known that person, 2 years ago if I hadn't stepped up and said I want to do more with SLA.
And I think that's a nice seamless integration into, of course, your biggest role, I think, at the moment, which is being the conference chair for next year's conference in Boston. So what does your role cover? What are the challenges?
Oh, the challenges. Well, the first thing I needed to do was come up with a conference theme, which I selected Be Revolutionary, which is not only a nod to the American colonial history of that Boston has, but just in general as info pros, that we need to, we really need to revolutionize our thinking and how we do things. Times are changing, roles are changing. We can't be stagnant. We need to be revolutionary. So I really felt like that, that was a big hurdle, to overcome was, let's kind of change some thinking. So let's make the conference theme that, working with all the different unit planners, getting everyone on board. We have timelines, deadlines to meet, get everyone enthusiastic to have them get new ideas. I've been, really doing my best to get everyone, excited and keep them informed. And we're at the stage now where my big challenge is the council is evaluating all the sessions that have been submitted. And, we are rejecting some sessions, and that's only because, we really want the cream of the crop. Because if a member, especially talking to Europe chapter members now, if you're going to spend, your pounds or your euros, and a lot of them to come across an ocean over here, I want to make sure that you have the best bang for, the money that you're spending. So that's why the council is going through the really, almost painful task of really trying to evaluate what makes the cut. So that's the biggest challenge right now, because also I have one view of the info pro world, which is legal, and I have to remember that not everyone has that same view. And there's the petroleum and energy division, there's sciences. So that's why I ask council members from a variety of backgrounds, to be on the council with me, because a lot of times I'll just defer to them. If they tell me that this certain science-related session is top-notch, I trust you, I take your word for it, and then let's move on to the next session.
It seems like a good problem to have, rather than have too many sessions, and you can pick and choose the best than having not enough choice.
Yeah, it is a little heartbreaking. I'm not trying to, hurt the feelings of any of the unit planners who've worked hard, but, a lot of times you get a lot of duplication. Yep. Great minds think alike, so everyone comes up with a similar topic, but we can't have 5 sessions about open access that are that are exactly the same. We can, we could have maybe 3 sessions about open access if they all take different angles of it. So we are putting that into consideration as well. Does this session, take a different angle than another one? So.
And maybe one question to wrap up this interview. Is there one thing that you can reveal about something new or radically different at next year's conference that you can give us a hint about, or what we should look forward to?
Oh, sure. Actually, a couple things, if you don't mind.
Good.
I came up with a couple new ideas. One is called the Masterclass session. If you've gone to conferences before, you may be familiar with the Spotlight session.
Yep.
So the Masterclass is a spotlight, but at a higher level. We're only selecting master classes that would appeal to higher level managers. Now, that's not to say that a library student couldn't attend that session, because it would give you something to aspire to. But we're trying to help those members who've been in the profession a little longer with some sessions that appeal to them. So that's the Masterclass series. But again, there's something for everybody in it, so don't think that you can't attend it if you haven't been in the profession a while. The other one is the Crescendo session I came up with, and if you're familiar with the musical term crescendo, it goes from soft to loud. What my idea is let's have sessions that start with the real fundamental beginner knowledge, and by the end of the hour or hour and a half, you're dealing with some more advanced topics. And the thought process behind that was a couple things. One is, let's go through the whole learning process. Let's go from, A to Z and see what this whole topic looks like. Also, it will help smaller divisions who can't afford to put on multiple sessions, to compact all that into one session. So we saw some really good response to that, and have some good sessions that will fit that plan. The other thing we haven't done for a while is have a charity aspect to the conference, sort of a public service. And we have a couple charities that we have selected to, benefit from the conference. We'll do collection of items or collection of money. We'll also have an in-person opportunity as well. So there'll actually be 3 different charities, which I don't think we're ready to disclose at the moment, but so it'll be a surprise for later. But we picked these charities that we think not only will benefit the Boston community, but appeal to the desires of InfoPros to make the world better.
I'm already excited, and I have to wait until next year before the conference starts. So Tracy, I'm surely want to touch base with you before the conference, but you probably can reveal much more and make people even more excited to join. I want to thank you for taking time out of your early morning for this podcast recording, and we'll be in touch soon.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay.